This a fucking funeral, dog. The black is for the funeral. End everything. They should be 1-6 after this. And when they leave the Rock, them boys should not want to play no more for the rest of the season, dog.
We play this game to win, by any means necessary. To our last breath, to the last play, we hunt. When we bleed, it's orange and green. War ready is the phrase often used. Around these parks, it's game time. No need to turn back the hands of time. We back like we never left. One thing that'll never change is the brand, the you.
Oh man, I don't know if Florida State has ever been this fucking bad. Like, when I tell you these boys are trash, they are garbage. Like, let me start off by keeping everything clean. I'm gonna keep it funky. Florida State is fucking trash. They the worst kind of trash right now. They're 1-6. They're 1-5 in the ACC. They really can't score the fucking ball, if I'm being honest. I think the best thing they may have going for them is their kicking game. And they're just not good this year, man. Their beat writers and they trash ass fans, they told a lot of fucking lies this offseason. But, you know, anybody that knows me, I keep it real, man. I've been saying since last year, the way they were going about things, it wasn't sustainable. And you see it. You see the effects. You see the impacts of it. I mean, let's be real, man. Them boys lost, at least 7 or 8 players to the NFL this past year. And out of the 7 or 8, like, they legitimately lost like 6 really good players. A couple of great players and then some good players. You get what I'm saying? And then they also obviously no longer have who was a good college quarterback for them, Jordan Travis. So, you know, when you lose that many players to the NFL and you don't have a certain level of talent behind those guys, I mean, this is just pretty much what happens, if we being honest. National media plus their beat writers told a bunch of fucking lies about their D-line and all of that bullshit, which we'll get into that a little later. But, you know, they start the year out against Georgia Tech, take an L. From when I saw them at Georgia Tech, I've been watching Florida State all year. You know, I usually watch and scout Miami's opponents throughout the season instead of just watching film, you know, when the game week approaches pretty much. But when I watched the Georgia Tech game, man, one of the main things that stood out was the trenches. Like, on both sides of the ball in the trenches, them boys was just, it just wasn't hitting for shit. And I knew that week 1. But I'm like, okay, well, that was Georgia Tech. You know, their head coach is a former offensive lineman, man. He's definitely going to want them to be physical. So I'm like, the real test is BC. Let's see what it's hitting on when they play BC. And then they played Boston College, and Boston College did whatever the fuck they wanted to do the entire game. So, you know, I discussed earlier, I might have mentioned in one of the videos, like, even when they were 0-2, it was clear to me they had problems that couldn't be fixed this year, right? The lack of what they have in the trenches is not something that you can just snap your fingers and fix, right? You either got the shit on your roster and you're developing it, or you don't. And how bad I saw they were in the trenches just out the gate. You know, I'm not really too surprised that they're 1-6 at this point. I thought they potentially could have won another game, Memphis or Duke, but obviously they didn't do that. So 21-24 lost to Georgia Tech, 28-13 lost to Boston College, 20-12 lost to Memphis, Then they beat Cal at home 14-9. They got smoked by SMU 42-16. Clemson bust their ass 13, I believe. And then they lost last week to Duke 16-23. So, the sole win on the season is against Cal. Like I said, man, overall, they haven't been good. I honestly don't know if I've ever seen Florida State this bad, at least in my lifetime, just being honest. But just in general, man, they're averaging 15 points a game. And this is not me trying to be funny or anything like that. Like, 15 points a game is fucking crazy. How the fuck y'all only score 15 points, bro? 15? They are 132 out of 134 teams in the country in scoring offense. They the worst scoring offense in the country, pretty much. I don't think the other two teams that are at the very bottom, I don't think they're P4 teams. Like, that shit is crazy. They're only getting 276 yards per game on offense. About 203 passing and about 72, 73 yards rushing. Their defense is giving up like 25 a game, so that's not too crazy, honestly. Because I think that's good for like 76 out of 134. So when you factor in how bad they are on offense, the fact that they're only giving up 25 points a game on defense, is actually pretty commendable, if I'm being honest. I mean, when the offense is that fucking trash and them boys that putrid, I would expect them to at least be giving up 30, maybe 35 on defense. But so they've somewhat held it there. I mean, there's only one team that scored over 30 on them all year, if we being honest, right? And that was SMU. So nobody else has scored more than 30 on them. They are giving up 370 yards a game, about 198 passing, 172 rushing. So, I mean, you can pretty much get whatever you want against Florida State. I think the two best offensive teams they've played this year, which is Clemson. Clemson had 500 total yards on them. And then SMU would be the best or the second best offensive team they played. And they had like 458 yards against them. So you could get what you want against this defense. In general, though, man, we'll just, we'll cover a couple of things. So they, I'm not sure if Brock is going to be at quarterback, Brock Glenn or Luke. It really don't fucking matter. Like, they're not good at passing the ball. So no matter who plays quarterback, I expect us to be able to force at least 2 turnovers against them. Rather if it's fumble, whatever, picks, but a lot of bad decisions are being made. I watched the game again last week against Duke. Couple of picks. I think one of them they technically didn't call a pick. That shit was an interception, bro. Bad decisions, pick 6, fumbles on some runs, different things like that. I believe the freshman they got, what's his name? I believe Cam Davis. I think he's hurt. I don't think he's playing. So Lawrence Toafili is their leading rusher on the season, and he'll be the main or the featured back this Saturday when we play them. They don't have one running back on their roster that averages 5 yards a carry, that has a legitimate amount of carries, right? Toafili has about like 250 something yards. The next best running back, which was Davis, had like 138. They don't have any other running backs over 100 yards. That shit is insane. So I'm saying all of that to say they're not good at running the fucking ball. So I don't expect to see anything different. Like, hold them motherfuckers in check. They're not good like that. As far as that receiver, Ja'Kai Douglas would definitely be their most productive receiver for sure. I guess you could say he's their best receiver as well. Got about 350 yards on the year, give or take. He is averaging like 16 yards a catch though. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on for sure. You don't want to let certain players start to get confident. At the end of the day, everybody still got to line this shit up and go play the game. You feel me? So you don't want shit to start looking a certain way and everything, because as soon as you give people confidence, especially some of these young kids, they have the idea that they can, go and start running away with certain shit. As far as other receivers, I guess the next person to watch or keep an eye on would be Malik Benson. He got about 231 yards on the season. Portier or whatever. I mean, he can make some plays down the field. I'm just being honest, and that would probably be it. I mean, Jaylen Brown ain't gonna make no plays. I don't expect him to anyway. I mean, he been dropping shit since high school. That boy hands is not good. And then I mean, I guess Hakeem could potentially make a play. He has about 120 yards on the year, so not expecting shit from him either, to be honest. Kyle Morlock, 8 catches, 107 yards on the year. I'm pretty sure Morlock has more drops than catches. With that being said, I'm not going to count him out just because you know Miami can't cover a fucking tight end to save their life. This motherfucker been trash all goddamn season, and I guarantee you Saturday when he lined that shit up, he planning on having a game of his fucking life. So I do want to be clear about that. He can play. I get that he has hella drops this year, but he can play. And we need to be well aware of, you know, what's going on and keep that shit in check. If I'm being totally honest, man. As far as on defense, to highlight some of their key players, Shaheem Brown lead their team in tackles. So he gonna be all over the field just in general trying to make plays. I will say at corner in particular, I think Azareye'h Thomas, he is nice. I don't know if he's still considered. They was gassing him and saying he was a top pick and all of that. I don't know if he'll be that at the end of the year, but he definitely can play ball. So I expect Azareye'h to be extremely competitive out there. At the end of the day, it ain't gonna really matter. Because I do expect a 50 burger on these bitch ass boys, but we'll just keep going as far as with focus on defense. I personally think this is who I like at linebacker on their team. I think Blake Nicholson got to be their best linebacker. I believe he's a true freshman, if I'm not mistaken. Number 20, he got 30 tackles on the year, but even before he started playing more, when I saw him getting reps, he was the only linebacker they had that wasn't getting hold and shit. Like, he's flying around, like, trying to make plays. Like, he's not in his head. He's not thinking about it too much. Like, he see it and, like, he just going. So, I actually like that kid. And then as far as with the D-line, everybody knows that Patrick Payton is their best pass rusher. He has 4 sacks on the year. You know how they are overall, though, man. Like, they're not physical up front. So he is a good pass rusher. So, you know, if he's on CC, I expect CC to do it, make it do what it do on him. If he gets slid over and Bell happens to be in the game and he's on the other side, it could potentially be a problem on a couple of plays. But I don't foresee anything really going on too crazy. I mean, these boys got like maybe 16 or 17 sacks on the entire season. So they're averaging like 2.5 sacks a game, maybe somewhere up in there. They only have 2 interceptions on the entire year. So they ain't picking shit off. Like, the defense ain't doing shit for real, if we being honest. I'm only covering them because at the end of the day, like I said, man, the game still got to be played and you got to line shit up. Obviously, in the middle, I guess, Daryl Jackson. Everybody know he was at Miami or whatever. His stupid ass ended up transferring. Them boys was talking a whole bunch of shit while he had to sit out last year and all of that. He really ain't doing shit. I think he got maybe 16, 17 tackles on the year, 1 sack or half of a sack or some shit like that. Like, he really not like that. Kevin Knowles probably end up making some plays for them for sure as well. Marvin Jones Jr. actually do have 3 sacks on the year. I believe he's second on their team in sacks. So they got some guys that can rush the passer. I'm just being honest. They're not good in stopping the run, but they got some guys that can get after the passer, man. So we got to make sure we protect Cam and keep him clean. Real quick and easy game, man. Get this shit over with. and don't play with these boys. Is really all I ask, if I'm being totally honest. As far as on the Miami side, man, you already know what's going on. The Canes are averaging 48.3 points a game, good for number 2 in the nation. We got the best offense in the country at the end of the day, and nothing has changed, nothing has stopped this entire year. We've been putting up a lot of points no matter who we play. Folks are saying, oh, y'all not playing nobody. Okay, well, we put up 41 on Florida. Oh, you didn't play nobody. Florida not good. Now they saying Florida's looking okay or whatever. Like, we putting up points on everybody. It don't really matter who the fuck it is. So everybody can line up, get in line to get your ass spanked. We handing out ass whoopings all season long, and that's just how I feel. You know, there's no concern for real. I mean, we gotta make sure we stay 1-0 every week, like Mario's preaching. But at the end of the day, I like our chances against anybody in the country. Doesn't matter who it is. You can name any team, pick them. If we take care of the football, bro, I like our chances against anybody. So as long as we're able to stay healthy, we should be fine. The defense is giving up 22.6 per game. That's good for 56 in the nation. We ain't gonna even touch on that because I think we giving up like 39 points per game over the last 3. Y'all know how I feel about the defense. I mean, that shit we gotta tighten up, and we better make them changes on the back end too, because the shit just ridiculous. But as far as key players, man, y'all know who Miami key players is. We don't even really have to do this, but we're going to do it anyway because it all sounds great. I'm enjoying the ride this year, man. It's been a long time coming, man. This is my first time in my adult life that the Canes are good. That shit from 2017, that shit was a fluke. It wasn't sustainable. And there was a lot of luck involved in that. That team should have lost a lot of games, and I don't think it kind of compares to the close games we've had this year. You know, we got fortunate in some of those. In some of those games, we kicked ass back then, but this time it's different. We got a system. Obviously, Cam Ward is at the helm of it, but we built the trenches up the right way on both sides of the ball, and we've recruited at a high level. We'll continue to recruit at a high level, man, and that's why we sitting here where we at. But let's get back on the stats, man. Cam Ward, Heisman candidate. He's at the top of the list right now. Gotta be. 2,538 passing yards, 24 TDs, 5 picks. Completing about 69% of his passes, and he's pretty much lighting the country up in every fucking category possible. Yards per game, average yards per completion, all of that, man. Cam Ward, he doing Cam Ward things. He's staying calm out there. He picking folks the fuck apart. He's minimizing the amount of bad decisions that he's making, or questionable decisions, however you want to put it. You know, he made a bad one last game. He didn't pay for it. So hopefully this week he takes care of the ball, keep it clean, and hopefully we'll get to see Emory Williams top of the 4th quarter. That's how I'm feeling. Obviously, Damian Martinez is our leading rusher, man. Him and Fletcher both had good games last week. I loved how they both ran the ball outside of the fumble Fletcher had. I love what the run game did. I expect us to run the ball very well against Florida State. They're giving up a $172 on the ground anyway. So I expect us to be able to get what we like, man. Get Martinez in there. Get Fletcher going. Get A.J. Allen in the game. Don't wait until, late in the game to play him and shit. Those are 3 running backs we need to ride with this game. And then once we blow the shit open and we up big 4th quarter, then you can put in Jordan Lyle, or you can put CJ in and shit like that and let other folks get reps. But those are the 3 we need to run with, and we should switch it up throughout the first 3 quarters. We shouldn't wait to the end to just throw AJ in on some bullshit, man. Like, get him snaps, get him reps. At the end of the day, AJ only got like 22 carries on the year, but he's averaging 8 yards a carry. So get him reps, man. Get him the ball. He can make plays. But I love what I saw last week, so I definitely want it to continue for sure. Obviously, at wide receiver, man, we got the man X. Strepo got 686 yards, averaging 17.6 a catch. He got 6 touchdowns. My dog X top 10 in the country in receiving yards right now. I don't know if y'all really know that shit or not, but X is top 10. Like, stop playing with X, bro. He out there balling. I didn't think he was gonna clip 1,000 again this year before the season. I just thought the ball would, just be getting dished around in a lot of different ways to a lot of different people, but he about to clip 1,000 again. So, and last year, X didn't have a catch against Florida State, if I'm not mistaken. So I know no matter how fucking sorry these boys is, that shit on bruh mind. Like he in the lab grinding at all times. And I know him not getting on the stat sheet, making certain plays last year. I know that shit gotta be in his mind. So I expect him to come out there and try to lay these boys the fuck out in every aspect. You feel what I'm saying? Horton, obviously second on the team in receiving with 412. I believe we're the only team in the country that has 4 wide receivers or tight ends that have at least 4 touchdowns. And that's not too crazy when you think about the fact that Cam Ward lead the country in touchdown passes. But Horton been playing good this year, man. Cam Ward missed him on 3 throws last week. 2 was real bad misses. 1 was just whatever. If he had missed him on it, honestly, Horton would have probably had close to 100 yards. But I expect another good game from Horton. Sam Brown was his breakout game last week. Shout out my boy Teflon Twan. He said Sam Brown was going to have a breakout game last week. I didn't believe the shit, but Sam Brown played great last week, man, and I definitely want him to continue it. Continue playing well and make plays because the speed is there. You see it. Somebody in the group chat said he think he Tyreek Hill or some shit because he be jogging too much when he, down the field. But nah, man, shout out Sam Brown, man. Keep making plays. And then I definitely expect Jacoby to get off on FSU. I know Jacoby fucking hate these boys. And last year he bust their ass. So I definitely expect my dog Jacoby to get out there and make some plays. Definitely wouldn't be surprised if all the wide receivers plus Arroyo caught a touchdown this week. Arroyo didn't have a catch last week, but like I said, man, he was blocking his fucking ass off. And I definitely hope that we make sure that we get Arroyo involved this week. Every single week, Arroyo is a mismatch no matter who we play. It don't matter if we play in Florida State, don't matter if we play Georgia, Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State, Bama. Line that shit up. There's nobody that they have that's going to be able to guard Elijah Arroyo one-on-one. He's a mismatch every week, and we need to carry on as such. Make sure that we getting the fucking tight ends involved. And I'm going to say this, man, like Arroyo, he the kind of kid where he don't have to get the ball because he going to block hard and do everything regardless. He going to go 100 miles an hour. But it's nice to make sure that those kids, and it's not like you doing it to be nice. Like, he talented. Like, bro talented as fuck. Get him the ball. Make the defense respect the tight end. It'll set a lot of shit up with the play action, different looks we can do. We can run some middle tight end screens or middle running back screens. It's a lot of shit we can do, man. So get the tight end involved for sure. I expect to see Elijah Lofton maybe make some plays this week as well, man. So I definitely would love to see that. As far as on defense, personally, I'm highlighting the D-line only plus OJ. OJ, and I don't even know if y'all realize this, and this is on limited snaps too, man. So, if I'm not mistaken, I believe, let me see. No, it's not showing up on here, but I'm going to highlight OJ. I think OJ's been our best corner so far this year. I know his snaps have been limited to a certain extent, and the more you play, the more errors you do get out of folks, but the way he's coming up in run support, the way he's sticking to his guys and man and the technique and everything that he's showing, he don't need to come off the field this Saturday. I'm going to repeat that again and hope he does not need to come off the field on Saturday. Leave him in the fucking game. Do not take him out. Take out De'Anni Hill and take out Richard and let them swap back and forth. Do not take Frederick off the field. He don't need to come off. He should only need to play 3 quarters anyway, because by the time the 4th quarter come, the shit, like, the top should be blown off the fucking game, right? A 50 burger on these boys. My boy Bari said a 50 burger with bacon. You feel me? So that's what that shit need to look like. He's only going to play 3 quarters. Play him the entire game. I expect Daryl Porter to step up and have a good game. I know this game means a lot. Obviously, his brother, you know, is on the other side and stuff like that. So I expect him to play well, man. And then the D-line in general. Simeon Barrow been a fucking monster these last 3 weeks. Him and Mesidor inside. I honestly don't think there's another team in the country that has 2 DTs that cause that much havoc inside. I haven't looked at the pressures and shit like that to see how many they've gotten. But when I tell you them boys is wrecking shit, they wrecking shit. So between that, Barron, I expect him to fucking get after them like crazy. I expect Bain to ball out. Austin was back last week. He didn't really make that many plays, but I expect him to play better this week. Cole McConaughey got in last week. I saw Clark in the game. Hopefully Scott will get in there, man. We can mix it up. We got a lot of good shit going on the D-line. Keep it good. Keep it fresh. Get after these boys. Hopefully we can just tee off and end up with at least 5 sacks on them. That's what I would like. But even if we don't do that, man, I want to see us in the fucking backfield on a regular basis. We need to be knocking them the fuck back. Like, that's what we need to be seeing. We need to be seeing us knock them back. Don't play with these boys. Don't bullshit. Don't come out and try to give them no life. Don't do none of that. Defense. We know we can't expect shit out of the linebacker play for real. Wesley gonna come out hyped. Hopefully he plays well. Kiko, I need you to pick it up, my boy. I need y'all to do better than what y'all doing. If I'm keeping it funky, there's no reason we should be 7 games in and our leading tackler have 36 tackles. That's crazy. That is crazy, bro. Too many missed tackles. Defense, we not doing all these missed tackles this week, bro. We not doing that shit. I hope y'all locked in mentally. I hope y'all got everything y'all need. We don't need all these fucking missed tackles. It's Florida State, goddammit. They offense trash anyway. Go out there, put they dick in the dirt, and end this shit early. End it early, yo. I know y'all good for giving up more than y'all average, but if I see y'all motherfuckers give up more than y'all average on Florida State, we gonna have a problem, dog. They should not get more than what y'all giving up, which is 22. They shouldn't clip more. So basically, the max amount of points these boys should score is 20. They shouldn't even fucking score that. But I'm going to say 20 if we like take starters out top of the 4th quarter and they get another bullshit touchdown. Don't be out here making us look stupid giving up these fucking points. We in the black unis. We got like over 120 recruits that's going to be at this game. We wearing the black with the orange. Probably should have been a little more green in the uniforms, but this a fucking funeral, dog. The black is for the funeral. And everything. They should be 1-6 after this. And when they leave the Rock, them boys should not want to play no more for the rest of the season, dog. They should want to hang that shit up and be like, all right, we already knew we was ass, but the way the Canes just beat the fuck out of us, bro, we don't want no smoke with nobody else. Just put all the young kids in there, motherfuckers that's seniors that's trying to get better tape, and that's it. That's how they should feel by the end of the 3rd quarter. That's what they should feel like. And if we ain't doing that, then we ain't do our fucking job. We supposed to take all soul and spirit out these motherfuckers and beat their ass in the dirt. I know it's a rivalry game. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I know anything can happen in a rivalry game. I know, as I said, the game's got to be played. You still got to play the fucking games. But when I tell you what I expect to see, we need to be on their ass, boy. Like, we need to, bro. Don't get them no life. Don't play with them. Don't let them think they can hang around. Don't do none of that shit. Because at the end of the day, you give a motherfucker life, you let them hang around, you start letting them get too much confidence, and now you in some shit you don't want to be in. So we averaging 577 yards a game. We get in there and fucking handle business. And then we come out with no injuries. Put the fucking 50 burger with bacon and cheese on them. And it is what it is, man. Like, this shit should be real light and simple. Overall, I definitely expect to see Zaquan Patterson playing a lot of snaps. If I see 7 back there, the first time he get beat, and I'm not even kidding, and I normally don't believe in pulling kids and stuff like that, you know, just because you make one mistake. But he's made enough mistakes that the first time he shit the bed on Saturday, if he shits the bed, he should be done. As far as like key snaps and key moments, he should be done. Please tighten up on the back end, 7. We need you to focus, bro. We need you to lock in, like, for real. Tighten up back there. We can't be giving up these chunk plays to Florida State. They fucking trash. They only score 15 a game. Don't give up the busted plays and all of that bullshit to these boys. They only completing fucking 52% of their passes on the season or some crazy shit. Like, come on, dog. Like, this is the game for the defense to get confidence and feel good before next week. You feel what I'm saying? So, y'all boys do y'all job, man. And let's get this shit done, man. And one thing that I want to point out, too, that I saw online earlier, because I don't really think people realize this shit about Cam Ward. So, shout out Cam. Obviously, he been balling, but I don't think people realize, like, how great of a college career he's had so far. Obviously, because the spotlight hasn't been on him and shit like that when he was at Incarnate Ward. And then even when he was at Washington State, the spotlight wasn't on him like that. But, you know, he's here now. He's a Heisman candidate. I know y'all saw the Adidas commercial. That shit was hard. My boy done got a deal with Adidas. He got the bold shit going. But as far as the stats and shit, though, so Case Keenum holds the record, the passing record for most yards in NCAA history, right over 19,000. He holds the record for most touchdowns at 155 and the most completions at like 1,500 or something. Cam Ward has a chance to catch him in most passing yards ever. He's about 2,800 yards off. So if you do the math on it, we would need to pretty much end up playing for the national championship. He would need to throw about 350 yards per game average to kind of get that record. It's definitely possible, but we don't know how the season plays out and stuff like that. So we'll just leave that record alone. But the passing TD record, he's only 13 away, I believe. Right? He's somewhere up in there. It's about 13 away. 13 to 15. So he's definitely going to be the all-time touchdown passing leader in the history of college football. And, you know, for a lot of y'all that don't know that, I think Case Keenum threw like 155 touchdowns. Cam Ward is at 143, if I'm not mistaken. And then even with the total yards, Cam Ward has over 16,000 passing yards in his career. So, and even with the completions, it's a done deal that Cam Ward's going to end up passing Case Keenum in completions as well with over 1,500 in his college career. I said all of that to say, my boy Twan was talking about this earlier, man, but if he does, he's clipping 2 of them records for sure. So you can put him in the bag. But I do think that will help in general. He's definitely on top of the Heisman shit already. But him being the passing leader, all time in touchdowns and all time in completions, like culminated with everything that we got going on this year, I definitely think that's going to help his Heisman campaign. And, you know, prior to it being kind of pushed out there today, I don't really think folks is really tracking it. That, you know, he's putting himself in position to make himself number 1 in the record books in so many different categories. You know, but, you know, from everything you're seeing, though, the kid is still laser focused. He locked in. And that's what I love about this shit the most. I don't see us being distracted and shit like that, man. Like, everything has been great. We locked in. As far as what I expect for the game, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go 60-14. I definitely expect us to score at least 50 for sure. I expect a 50 burger, but I'm gonna go 60-14. I expect us to put 60 on Florida State head. Do what we gotta do, man. Get this shit over. Get out of there healthy. And, hopefully we don't see no bullshit with the rotations and everything. Dawson, continue to mix it up. Continue to show us different shit on offense, man. And that's pretty much all I got, man. Definitely will be tuned in for the game. I won't be there. But I'm planning on attending the Wake Forest game, just putting that out there in advance for everybody. But other than that, man, that's all I got for y'all. And until next time, signing off.
We play this game to win, by any means necessary. To our last breath, to the last play, we hunt. When we bleed, it's orange and green. War ready is the phrase often used. Around these parks, it's game time. No need to turn back the hands of time. We back like we never left. One thing that'll never change is the brand, the you.